Quinyon Mitchell was pretty much locking up Chris Godwin and Emeka Buka all game. So it's just it was something where I feel like Baker is kind of just such a gunslinger that like he makes these big plays, but it can lead to bad things as well, which led to the kind of ending of this game. But let's take it to the Birds because I got a lot to say about them before I even get to the AJ stuff. But the offense is so weird to me. It's so weird because it's when they're on, there's a nugget of like, man, this offense can be really, really good when they're on. This offense can be really, really good when they're on. Like two halves, the last half of the Rams game last week, the first half of this game, looked like the best offense in the league. Quite frankly, they were killing it. Kevin Patullo's game play calling in the red zone has been incredible. They're 11-0 in the red zone or 14-0, but they haven't either way. They haven't had a trip to the red zone where they have not scored a touchdown. So the offense, there's a great offense in there somewhere, and it's mainly based on the run game. But the run game is terrible right now. Like it's truly really bad right now. And it's not really Saquon is taking a step back. When you watch Saquon, he's still got good burst. He's still got good movement. He's still Saquon. It's the O-line. There's the wear and tear of last season. We're seeing it more show up through the O-line and less through Saquon. Landon Dickerson is playing really poorly. He's playing with an injury. He's had an injury so far the whole season. Cam Jurgens had knee surgery over the offseason. He's not been playing up to his standard. Tyler Steen has been playing well, but it's still like he's not playing as well as Mekhi Becton did. And then Lane Johnson and Mailata have been fantastic, but Lane Johnson's been in and out of the lineup constantly, right? Like it's 2 games in a row where he's had to leave the game because of some sort of injury that he suffered. And Fred Johnson had to come in. So there's clearly just they have inconsistency on the offensive line, but they just they're not playing up to that level. And I think so much of their offense has been predicated on running the ball and, passing to get up, running to stay to keep the lead, right? That now that running game is not coming to them so easily, they seem to be having a hard time adjusting. And my issue that I have with them is that they don't have a plan for this. And that's the biggest problem and has kind of been the problem with the Nick Sirianni coach team and with, the OCs as of late. Is they know what they're doing when everything's going perfectly. When everything's not going perfectly, what are they doing, right? And that has been the issue with this squad. So it's when the run game's not coming to them, they just keep hammering it instead of sprinkling it throughout and mixing it up, instead of like adding new things, instead of letting Jalen and AJ and Devontae, which in my opinion, I think Jalen and AJ and Devontae, I think Jalen has taken a step forward as a quarterback. I think he's very clearly, even though he had a bad half in this game, but he's very clearly a different and better, smarter quarterback. He's seeing the field more clearly. He's moving guys with his eyes. He's getting through his progressions quickly. He's seeing the field really, really well. But you keep giving him these offensive plays that are so predictable and so poorly constructed. The same route concepts with each other, stick with they had a smash concept. They just keep doing it like stick and like smash constantly. It's the same stuff. And they run these 2x2 sets. Like everybody's aware of it, and we all know that you're passing out of shotgun. We all know that you're running out of pistol. They're just running a really just predictable offense. I mean, it's very clear when they're going to run. It's very clear when they're going to pass. And then on top of all of that, the offensive line is not playing as well as they can. I mean, even with a predictable offense, I mean, you can argue that the Eagles' offense was predictable last year. You can argue it was predictable in 2023. You can argue it's been predictable for the last 4 years. But they still were able to get stuff off. So I do think the O-line not playing up to its ability is really hurting this team, along with the fact that the offense is predictable. And I do think at some point we have to evolve. And AJ said this at the end of last season, right? To take it to AJ now. Like, he said this at the end of last season, where when we hired Kevin Patullo, and it was announced we hired Kevin Patullo, and they were doing exit interviews and they were leaving, he said, all that really matters is if we evolve. We have to evolve, right? So we can't keep spending time saying this person's wrong, that person's wrong, whose fault is it, all of this stuff, right? The problem is that we are not evolving, as the system is not evolving. And meanwhile, I think Jalen Hurts is probably playing the best ball he's ever played, where looks really clean, he looks really locked in, he looks like he's seeing the field well, but he just is being given the same stuff, and every team is just sniffing it out, right? Yes, he had this bad half, but at a certain point, he took that big hit. It looked like he was off. I don't want to say he had a concussion because I'm not going to diagnose anybody. Maybe it was something else with his shoulder or something. Because after he took that big hit, it was a noticeable difference in his accuracy. Noticeable difference in him missing throws. And he's not one to miss throws. He's one to turn down something, not see an open player, leave the pocket too early. But he's not one of those guys who's going to just flat out miss throws. He's not one of those dudes. He's one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the NFL, consistently accurate. That just the way he was playing in that second half felt like there was more going on in his body, but I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to diagnose anything. But he played poorly in that last half. But I also think that the Buccaneers started doing a lot more zone blitzing. They started doing a lot more zone reads instead of man reads, which that has become a thing where the Eagles don't have answers for that. And I know a lot of people are like, well, Jalen's supposed to do something about that. What is Jalen supposed to do other than run the play? He runs through his progression. That's what he does. All he can do is possibly run. But if they got him under contained on the O-line, then on the D-line, there's not much he can really do. So a lot of things just seem really out of sync and out of whack, and they don't really have any answers for the different looks that certain teams are showing them, right? So we're just gonna have to see. We're just gonna have to hope that they do it. I'm more concerned about the run game than I am about the passing game. To really take it to AJ now, you have people getting frustrated with this tweet by AJ. Where this tweet, he's talked about it now, but and we're gonna go over that as well. But this tweet where he posted a screenshot from his Bible app of Mark 6:11, and it's the Mark 6:11, and it's the verse where it said, "If you're not welcome, not listened to, quietly withdraw. Don't make a scene, shrug your shoulders, and be on your way." So I'm sure that many people took that, and I also took that myself as, oh my God, this guy he feels like he's not being listened to. And if your star player feels like he's not being listened to, that's a problem, right? But it just feels to me like he's frustrated and he wants more of a role, or he wants not necessarily get thrown to more. He wants to be the lead dog that when the chips are down and the offense is struggling and everything's struggling, that he is the guy that they lean on. And that I say that that's what he's thinking based off of what he said in his interview today with at his locker room after practice. He said here, first statement of the day from him, obviously Sunday after the game, I let my frustrations boil over. I didn't speak to the media. I had a chance to correct my frustrations, and I continue to let it boil over, and that's on me. I take full accountability on that. My message on Twitter wasn't directed at anyone in the building, and of course, not my quarterback, my GM, nobody. I take full accountability. I have open communication with all of my coaches and with my quarterback as well. Me and my coaches, KP, Nick, we discuss weekly about trying to stay on the same page. That, to me, rings as true, but not all the way true. I do think it was directed at those specific people, But I don't think he's going to get anything from saying who it was directed to in that quote there. So next quote is, I think it's normal to have frustrations because of this standard that we hold to ourselves to. We have a lot of talent on our offense, and to be honest, our defense and special teams have been low key carrying us. It's just like we need to clean up what we need to clean up and get on the same page and play to the ability that we say that we can and be who we are called to be. It's a standard that we preach, so it's easy to have that frustration. It's fair to have that frustration. Like I said, I can't let that boil over. So obviously that quote is more towards like what they expect from themselves, right? And he expects a lot from themselves. Like they expect a lot from themselves. So they asked him also if he's happy here, right? He said, absolutely, this is my home. This is my home. Unfortunately, I did it to myself. I won't say unfortunately, I did it to myself. This is my home. I love it here. But you just see frustration because we want to be great. And most definitely, I want to be great as well. I saw some people trying to make that seem like it was a Freudian slip. Like, unfortunately, he's not here anymore. Or he doesn't want to be here. He's just lying. But I see that more as him trying to say, like, he did it to himself as he brought this view that people have of him now not wanting to be here or whatever. He brought that on himself. So it's nice accountability there to him, to acknowledging that he's the one who created the drama here. You know, it's not like anyone else did that. You know, he's the one who did that. So, and then on AJ wanting the football, I don't think it's a bad thing to want the football. It's not just for targets or anything or to put numbers up. I see that we're struggling, and I'm the guy that wants the ball in those times. When we can't find a way, give it to me. Like when the game's on the line, give the ball to me. I want it. I want that pressure. I put it on myself, and I work hard for it. I respect that. Personally. That's what the misconception is through whatever perspective. And I don't care to be honest. Because my teammates know when the game's on the line, look at me. I want everyone in the stadium to know that. That's not a secret. I'm not shying away from that. That's where you're seeing that frustration, that hunger comes out. Get the ball to me. I'm going to open up the game, and we're going to get this thing going. You can put it on my back. Now, I understand that a lot of people will probably see that and go, well, we did throw it to you 6 times in the second half. You couldn't catch it. But Jalen was kind of forcing the ball to him at that moment. That wasn't him. That wasn't like, a lot of those plays, when you look at those plays, they were designed to not go to AJ